as an extension. So let's see. It's going to be Weibo back on the blue side here. We're keeping bans fairly the same. Kiana here for JDG. Expect an Orianna Rise if this is going to be the run back. And for Weibo, Azir plus Nico. Need to be able to change it up a little bit in my mind, though, especially if we're talking about first picks for them.
Let's see. Do we keep the bans pretty stock similar? Well, who is to tell here by this point? Maybe start theory crafting what a JDG red side starts to look like on the draft. Do they try and lock? We did see last time that they locked down bottom lane with the Corki Alistair. Maybe. I mean, Lucian's had a lot of priority, or I'm forgetting that Lucian was playing in game number 1. Yep. I just got fearless,
This was a Rumble ban last time, so are they going for first pick Rumble? They know that there's no Cassante. You have to be considering that there's going to be an Ornn angle coming on through, though, so that could be a little bit more dangerous.
All right, they'll take the Rumble. Like you pointed out, we are on 25-19, but this is still a slightly nerfed Rumble, especially into those tank matchups. So that's why I think the orange shot is good. And there is still Sion that Xiaoxu could go towards. I think it's a very clear tank angle for the JDG top laner in this game.
All right. So what are they going to prioritize coming on through here for JDG? Because you know that there's going to be a Sion or an Ornn here in this game here for Xiaoxu. So since we know that can't pick top lane, let's try to get another priority role. Let's take that Kai'Sa away from
LPL Kai'Sa.
Give Peyz some tools to be able to play this game.
I'm not falling for any of these hovers, bro. You're playing a tank. You're not fooling me.
Just take jungle here. Like, they can take Xin Zhao here. I think Pantheon is fine. We have seen that Ambessa. I don't know. I really, really don't like the Ambessa matchup into Rumble early. But
well, we're getting it.
Yeah, we're getting more of what looks to be dive coming on through here from JDG. I also don't think that Xiaoxu has been the best Ambessa player, but has definitely gotten them out of some really tricky spots when he has played this champion.
For JDG in the dive strategy, right? Vi's still up and available. You can pair with things like Ahri if you really want to, like full index into this dive. I think when you already see Yunara, like Braum is a little scary for a dive comp, but man, Yunara, if you can gap close into this champion, and you can cut down such a big hyper carry. So I think it's pretty bold for Light to already want to slam this hyper carry, slightly immobile marksman into a comp that's already saying we're going after your carries.
Yeah, there is no like guaranteed crowd control until this rel gets locked in. Oh, okay, never mind. It is going to be the rel.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree. I think it's really tough to say, hey, I'm going to play Yunara and not have a lot of ways of slowing the opponents down here. So let's see what the response is going to be on 4-5 coming in from our two teams. JDG are going to have first pick on bans. So if I were them, I'm looking towards getting rid of either some jungle or some mid options here, especially if we're being a little bit more uncomfortable. Talia is something that definitely gets a few options from me. Could think about Annie here.
I think Talia should be a ban. Annie's fine. For Weibo, oh, did we miss a ban? Might have missed a ban.
We might have a draft remake. Let's see. Let's
it would be pretty deep for a draft remake. Hey, okay, or we're just going through.
They can still remake. We've seen this before. They'll still remake. So
yeah.
we can continue on as if that wasn't a miss.
I do. What I was going to say is, Weibo, good ban on the Vi. I think the extra like reliable CC you're gonna get is gonna come from Shun. So get the Vi off the table. You already have a Wukong ban. Like now what are you thinking for a reliable engage? Like I don't like tank junglers, or do you just opt for the Xin Zhao? We'll have to see.
Okay. What is gonna be the option here? I like the Vi. They need some kind of way to get into the back line because yes, if you can land the Ambessa ultimate and the Kai'Sa, then yes, then we can start to see that Galio and Yunara are under a little bit of threat, but we need to actually see JDG lock in a champion that's going to allow them to do that. Honestly, if you're really kind of looking towards it, Nocturne is interesting. There is no Orianna, so you'd be breaking up that pairing. They do need some kind of magic damage, so maybe this is just the Maokai game.
Oh, okay, yeah. Just try and lock down with the Twisted Advance. I always switch those in my head. Twisted Advance. there's no way this is real. If this gets locked in, we're definitely remaking draft. A Trundle. That is. How does that? How do you figure that with what we've been talking about?
I love Trundle. I've been one of the biggest Trundle pushers on this team. Not because I think necessarily he does have some early skirmishing, but I just think that early game, the pillar, the slow that it provides is really, really obnoxious. And we're kind of seeing from Weibo, they're a very static composition. They don't tend to move around too much outside of this now back end of the draft with LeBlanc and Lee Sin. They're already going to be pretty tough to lock down, but a Trundle versus a Yunara versus a Rumble, I think has a lot of high value here. Let's see what JDG are going to go for on 5, because right now they need some kind of guaranteed crowd control. Rel can be good, but you're going into the Braum. You also have this Trundle who only has the pillar.
I like this. This is a scout special, right? LPL Baldors, remember, split 2. One of our few pentakills, one of the few that I was able to collect on some of these calls, was in fact a scout Lissandra pentakill. Fun fact.
Cool. Nice. Very good. All
right,
so we take a look at these compositions. Like, I don't think, look, we've literally made 4 picks plus 2 bans afterwards, like, or 3 bans, I should say. I think we're way past the potential ban. Might even just be a spectator bug. We've had a lot of production issues over on the side coming in from LPL. But when we look at these 2 compositions, more about the range, I think especially for when we look at Weibo, I think their composition's a little bit harder to execute. It's going to take a long time for this Yunara to really start to get going, start to get ramping, and I don't think that she necessarily has the setup here for Light. So for JDG, can we actually see how powerful this Lissandra is going to be? And now with so many different tools, are JDG going to actually have a competent enough team fight going into this game?
Signs from game 1 would point towards yes. I think Scout has a pretty easy assignment. I think kind of what you were looking for. I think a lot of it does kind of hinge on top lane, right? I think the equalizer for a Fed Rumble is going to be pretty huge in some of these plays, kind of dissuading some of the dive, dropping that carpet out in front of maybe the Yunara, and then the Ambessa, right? Because now you have the Frozen Tomb to set it up. Xiaoxu already has such a big lead in the game 1 matchup topside. Let's see how much he can really get done here with this big-time Ambessa, because we thought it was going to be the tank pick, but it's going to be the Ambessa as our Grasshopper. Maybe we're going game by game here. He's back chilling with the Weibo squad.
Okay. Is there anything here that...
It's another LPL Lee Sin, by the way. We've had 2 today. I want to point that out. Nayo did not get the win on his Lee Sin.
Yeah, I want to point out, you know, one quick note if we talk about our last series. Technically, LCK is the only region to beat LCK here at ASI. So, LCK has a 100% win rate playing against LCK teams.
But don't they also have a do you mean against LPL teams? You said LCK a
No.
bunch of times. Yes, we kind of watched 830 games of LPL this year, so like...
857.
Sorry! It was 857? Okay, my bad.
It's okay. No, it's okay. It's okay.
I think
We're getting into game.
Yay!
We're here now. We even skipped a little bit ahead here.
It's a dance party. Oh, come on,
Shut
bruh.
up. This is why my producer needs to shut up during the game. It says we're fighting and then instant pause. Yep. Nice.
Blame Rare Adam, everybody. Thanks. I wonder... That's such a little tease, though. It's like we kind of sat here for 5 minutes, and then it's like, all right, here's a little sprinkle of gameplay. Then we're just gonna go right into another pause. Oh.
I think every time we say the P word, it happens again.
I love that countdown from our LPL casters. He was really hitting the 3, 2, 1 there, breaking down the pause. We're out of the rift. Here, game number 2, and Weibo are saying, nah, bruh. This is our bot side jungle. We're chilling up here. Not going to get any wards down. All right. There's the ward. I was waiting for it.
Okay. Okay. So, no lane swaps this time. That's fine. Something that's going to be very, very pivotal to this game is just going to have to be mid-jungle, right? Like, yes, Light is playing Yunara. There is the ability for him to have really big pop-off moments, but You're playing this Lee Sin LeBlanc combo, which I think falls off as the game goes. You can stop Lee Sin in the middle of his Sonic Wave with the Trundle Pillar. You also have Rel, so I need to see that this gambit that we're going for with this GV2 to actually provide some kind of value as this game goes.
I like that point you made. There's so many just dash cancels, Pillar, Rel. There's also Lissandra W, right? Or just Frozen 2. You can just catch anybody in these dashes. So
sure, yeah.
We'll see if JDG have the outplay potential there. Early training, though, gives a slight edge here to Light and Crisp with the fact that they're able to get the lethal tempo going on to Light, really jockeying for level 2. Peyz's company are going to have to recognize this is not ours to get here. So level 2 and pressure for now. Going to go over towards the Weibo bottom lane.
Jungler starting on the same side. Also, an early ward coming on there from Weibo is going to spot Shun on his wolves, so they know that he's on the top side of the map. Be very interesting. JDG also know that it is warded, so we'll at least have an idea that they are on vision. I wonder if Shun does anything special here.
Kind of like that look. Gets the cleanse out. Peyz, couple autos short from threatening a solo kill there. Zhuo get into his bag on this route early. Gonna maybe force a reset here from Light as well. Trying to bring the wave down. Good double cancel there from Zhuo. He has to be careful. He doesn't get concussive blows stacked. But that kind of flips the script on the bottom lane pressure.
It is very, very tough now because they're going to miss out on this next wave. I think that Light honestly has to stay, but there's no health pots. There's no heal either. He's just going to miss out on all of this. Chris has to basically catch this by himself. It's a single longsword going over to the Weibo AD carry.
Okay, that's going to give Peyz one hell of a reset too. Shun fully
it's
off
probably
his
just going to be
clear.
cold, no?
I would expect the cold to come across here as we get a picture replay of a nice little chain there coming across there from Xiaoxu, but okay, breathe. Goodbye, buddy.
Okay.
Okay, Tian. Xiaoxu's going to flash away from Tian to make sure he doesn't trade the kill now, and we talked about Shun wanting to skirmish with this Trundle. Tian's going to ward hop over. He's very lucky that neither Shun or Xiaoxu have flash, or that might have been a double kill.
Okay, I was questioning why we saw Breathe flash that way. It was so that he can get into position next to his jungler here. We are actually seeing Peyz go for a swap, so Mbessa has been a champion that has been able to survive in some of these lanes, and especially into a Yunara. I think it's fine. We're seeing Peyz. He took his reset, got that call that I had mentioned, and he's not going to be solo here. Now, Breathe has no teleport, no flash. He needs to be very careful about showing up on this wave like this.
Scott has a very big wave for himself to catch it. Breathe is going to back up, but, ooh, man, that wave is in a tough spot. So what's the reality here for Breathe? Stick around in a terrible freeze or back and walk all the way bot to try and switch? Not a good situation for this Rumble whatsoever.
Where is he going? He's making the trek right now. He's going to go probably get vision on the Raptor camp because he doesn't know if that wave is going to bounce towards him. See, that scout did get a recall in here. So he's going to sit behind their turrets. They're going to keep going.
Shun has no flash, right? So they're just going to chase him on down here. Land the concussive blow stun. Shun's going to try and run back towards his turret with a good speed up. But there are no JDG members anywhere near this. So the invade works out. Tian picks up the first kill for Weibo.
They're going for a dive.
Where is JD Gaming? Where can they help? Because there's no one coming anytime soon. It's Zhuo that's making the large trek down. Scout hasn't moved a muscle, by the way, on the mid lane. All right, Xiaoxu. I don't even know how you outplay this. It's not even 4 versus 2. Zhuo is desperately trying to get over here to help him out. First stun layers. Flame Spitter going. Zhuo's getting some pretty big stuns. Who has turret aggro, though? It's Breathe. The scrap shield, not enough. Zhuo finds that trade, and Light's kind of out of position here. Man, what would this dive have looked like if Scout had moved over? I got to think it would have gone a lot worse.
I think it's really tough for him to move. He's a Lissandra. He did just get forced back. We saw that Breathe cut straight through the mid lane play. As Shun was dying, he went straight in, just cut the wave in half. It basically said to Scout that I need to catch this next wave and opens up a timer there for Weibo. While all this is happening, Peyz is farming up on the top side. So they eventually were able to get Breathe back out of this matchup, and they were able to at least get a kill out of this. Does go over to Tian on this Lee Sin. So all in all, I think not a bad trade overall, especially because if Weibo don't get this to go their way, it is a very, very tough early game to come back from.
It was so close to being bad. Zhuo gets a double stun. It's just the fact that Light isn't the one that it gets hit by it. But you talked about 2-0 Tian. This is a mid-jungle that needs to accelerate the game early, and Tian is sporting the biggest gold difference right now in this game. The main reason why Weibo is up a couple hundred.
I mean, also, look at Xiaoxu right now. He is a level over his opponent, has the level 6 before this Rumble does. Rumble will get this equalizer before the grub spawn, so not under too much threat, especially with this massive wave that is underneath his turret. But yeah, that's the big thing that I'm looking for.
Grub's in about a minute. Let's see how the team starts shifting for that. Peyz out of the reset is going to go back towards the top side with a bit more damage behind his kit. Scout, threat in the mid lane, doesn't have flash here. Xiaoxu's going to go for the root. It's going to be a frozen tomb onto himself here. Chris is going to try and make the action continue to roll here. Good stun comes across from Zhuo. I think they're just going to have to settle for the support. He flashes late, still gets stunned by the custom blows. Here comes Peyz with a killer instinct. Oh, the plasma stacks were one morsel of damage short. Xiaoxu goes back in to try and get the chain, and Peyz is caught. He went all out for the kill onto the Spring Tiger, and it's going to cost him in JD Gaming.
They just conga line their way into mid. I don't think that the combination of spells, I think also the targeting there from JDG was a little sloppy. Scout using the ult on himself, not getting that damage requisite onto Lee Sin. Should be fine.
Killer. Flash? I mean, it took everything, but he will be fine.
He still has the ultimate as well, has camps that he can farm on bottom side. Zhuo is going to continue to move on forward. Should not be able to get too much there. Peyz loses a lot for that play. That was kind of his timer, his window, because he stayed topside while all of that bottom lane dive was happening. Tries to make him play in mid, loses both his flash, his bear, and his ultimate. So just going to go back topside, and now JDG do get at least one grub. I don't know if they'll be able to get more as Xiaohu and Lee Sin are coming on through.
Oh, they're TPing in. Shun is trapped in this pit. And Xiaohu is going to start dumping damage in. Dashes over dashes, and Shun is good and done and dust. Oh, I didn't think he had flash up. Okay, so he does get flash up just in time to get out, but should have just taken the one and left.
It's just tough, right? Like, Kai'Sa's not in a great spot to help him out. His support just showed in mid on the Raptors and doesn't have the ability to turn, so how much more does Shun actually lose off of this? Tian takes the 2 grubs, trying to steal this red buff away, but we see that Mbessa is on vision.
All right. Public execution is going to grab Tian. Remember, he has a fat shutdown. He's 4-0. He's going to dash back towards Xiaoxu. Flash forward to get the root into the frozen tomb. That was really nice from Scout. There's a TP coming from behind here as both supports, blinking health bars. Zhuo surviving for a while. It's Light that transcends to find that kill. Into the back fray, though, is Chris cut down by Xiaoxu. It's Breathe here. It's going to get heralded. Drops a really good velvet carpet. Nothing JDG can do about it. Light throwing auto after auto, and the cleanup crew is in here for Weibo. They're going to grab themselves 4 kills, 3.
Okay, remember, while all this is happening, Peyz is farming on the bottom side, does get himself at least a plate here in this wave. Lee Sin is very fed, though. 4-1, Tian.
Oh, yeah. Time to just eviscerate this health bar. I think he's going to do just a nice amount of damage. Good flash ult from Peyz. Oh, my lord, he nearly kinds the kill onto Tian. Got to give everything if you want to kill off one of the premier ADs the LPL has to offer.
Wow, that was a very, very clutch ultimate coming on through. Oh, Peyz might still end up going down. No, he walks forward. Rel's trying to come on through. Ends up living. He's going to be a big trade here from Weibo. They are playing very aggressively in this game. And despite some of the lane swaps, some of the allocations, I think we've been able to see Weibo be a little bit more prescient here in this game number 2. They're aggressive in the early game. They're forcing JDG to be in really uncomfortable positions. And Tian has a massive lead in the jungle.
Oh, he's going to hit another Sonic Wave. Didn't know Peyz was here, though. Crash down. They're trying to wait out the wall here to get that last plasma stack through. The custom blows don't come through in time. Zhuo gets that kill picked up. Xiaoxu over the wall, though. Xiaohu going to jump on in. Double dash after Peyz. Does he have enough damage with one auto? Waiting for the reset.
Oh, my God.
Killer is clutch from Shun. Peyz gets out. And now Xiaohu is stuck in the alcove. Man, he thought he had that kill done and dusted.
Wow, Peyz living with that much HP is crazy. Not a second spell there from Xiaohu. Could only land the Sigil of Malice. But aside from that, gets the Electrocute proc, and that is not enough damage. This is a very old replay. Wow, we are in the past. Jesus Christ. Okay, well, from this play, we got to see that Weibo kind of just were playing in a bad spot there. But now JDG don't have any spells. They don't have enough damage either. They don't have any setup here. Xiaoxu and the rest of the team are just very split. Kai'Sa's not in this play, so this was a good punish here from Weibo. And more importantly, what we've seen from this game, we came in talking about, is this LeBlanc and Lee Sin going to get enough done here? While I don't think LeBlanc has necessarily been as impactful, I do really like what Tian has been able to do so far on this Lee Sin early.
Shunno onto the Dragon here. He started up the objective on the top side with the Grubs and then gifted them back over to Weibo. Tian is in the area as well. It's going to be Peyz swinging on over to make sure. I think they have enough damage, though. First Drake going to go down very late, though. About 12 minutes into the game, the first Cloud Drake comes off the board.
Okay. Dragon goes over to JDG. Not able to do too much afterwards. Maybe they're going to try and find some kind of engage. It is Scout here in the area. And both top laners cannot join this fight as they do not have teleport. But while this is happening, JDG, they get zoned off of the bottom lane wave. This is going to be a pretty nice advantage coming on through for Xiaohu.
Unless Xiaohu tries to make it a problem. Tian gets rooted up. Frozen Tomb. Everything used on top of Tian. There's the Subjugate. But my lord, the damage that Light is putting out with Xiaoxu joining the fray is too much for JDG to bear here. Trying to kite back with the slows. It's not going to punish them too heavily. It's just Xiaohu that ends up dying, but it's another great show of force here from Weibo.
Why did we use the equalizer? I mean, there's nothing to play for the next minute and a half, so that's fine. But you know that there's 4 people on the bottom side. You just saw their support die as well. I don't think you're under too much threat here in this game. Maybe Breathe just wanting to make sure and guarantee that he gets himself a recall, but doesn't even finish an item here. So, all in all, I think an okay fight there for Weibo. They got what they wanted, which is going to be some summoner spells, and I think the lack of damage coming on through from JDG is starting to hurt them. Eventually, they will have a lot in this game. Kai'Sa is going to be a menace, but right now, look at the difference in the jungle, right? Like, it's 1,200 gold for Tian here. He's going to get even more from taking turret plates, and this is not even a Trinity Force completed here for Shun.
We're going to go for a little bit of a turret race. The JDG just do not win, even with the power of Trundle. I think this should be first brick going down towards the bot side between Xiaohu and Tian. Well, the wave is... No, yeah, it's going to be them taking first break. They'll also pick up feats of strength here for Weibo, another adage towards their lead that doesn't show up in the gold category.
Okay. I mean, yeah, we've got Herald spawns in a minute. Not too much doing here. Looking at items, though, very, very key to me that we're seeing. I wonder if Tian is close to a second item, because it's been a while since he's gotten like a real recall in. Either he finishes boots or he gets very, very close to getting that second item. And he's kind of the big breadwinner for me in this game. This Lee Sin has so much that he can do in this game. A lot of melees that are going to try to play into him. This kick can be very influential, so Peyz has to very carefully choose his moment as to when he flies in.
Grasshopper's still rocking with JDG. Last time he was doing that, they had a pretty comfortable lead. So a different reality here. Maybe trying to will, well, the team he predicted against, I guess.
There's no cover on that either. What? I didn't see the lid. I did not see the lid on there. No, but usually so I'm arguing with our producer. Our producer's saying it's a clear lid. Usually the lid is like slid over top. It's a slightly bigger than the hole. Maybe they sanded it down and actually, but there's no way to hold it in place. So
yeah, how you get it out? Like suction?
They're just not worried. Yeah, exactly. It's like the tuna image I showed you earlier. they've got a plunger on standby.
Plunger on standby here.
Well, this is going to hopefully get JDG into a better spot. Herald, maybe it sets them up for being able to take a turn in a minute's time around this dragon.
JDG can't stay here. They're trying to bail out of this. They've effectively leashed this, or they're going to turn on to Breathe. Don't need the setup for the public execution, but you just sink it home for Xiaoxu. Kill found. Magic Carpet out of Rumble, knocking a lot of value. Glacier Fish is going to come down onto 2. Zhuo's going to re-engage, though. They're trying to buy time for Peyz. Wall goes up for Chris to delay this Kai'Sa. It's Scout that's trying to come through with a flank, but Tian's damage is eviscerating Peyz. Transcendent form comes across here for Light. Should get the damage done onto Tian. There's a ton of HP bars blinking, but Tian just heals through it all. Finds himself the triple kill. It's Scout that rescues it back, uses the passive and the claw back towards Xiaohu. But he is still much healthier. Eats another Q. Can Scout outplay it? Dodges the rope coming out from Xiaohu. It's a TP coming through here. I think Chris was just going to finish this kill off. Scout is cornered. Oh boy, what can he do? He's gonna try and claw back away from Breathe. Oh, he fakes him out. Oh, another chain goes wide. Why is Scout still alive? This is taking forever. Finally, Breathe will drop him and give Weibo the slight win in a very long fight.
That is a very good find here from Weibo. You saw the immediate snap coming in from Tian. He wants to go right onto Peyz, and once Peyz is out, there is very little damage left for JDG. Using this Lee Sin incredibly well. We take a look one more time at this replay. This was a great engage coming in from Douyu. A pick that starts here onto Breathe. His flash goes down, but I think that is the biggest win here that Weibo can get at the start. It is going to be them losing a numbers fight, but they got the ult. They got a lot of key abilities out from Peyz. And after that, the damage from Xiaohu and Tian make it true. I think the only thing that maybe keeps JDG in this fight is how many frozen thralls from Lissandra passive end up going off here. But aside from that, a clean fight, all things considered here for Weibo. Ooh. And it even turns into a dragon as we see in the picture-in-picture.
Just the second dragon of the game, remember. First one went down at 12 minutes, so that's not a huge win con in this one. And I do want to point out, Tian has been having a masterclass, but Lee Sin is still on very much so a timer in this game. So Weibo cannot really afford to slow down, and you can see how they're doing so. They're knocking on the door of this mid-tier 2 turret. They think they have enough to get it done and dusted. Douyu does swing over. Xiaohu is hunting for some of these kills as well. JDG look like they want to try and collapse on this play. Public execution coming through here for Xiaohu into a double crash down from Douyu. That's a good way to get rid of Chris, but now Light is pretty out of position. It's the dashes and those early skirmishing champions that are taking out of the fight. No Xiaohu, no Tian, no problem. Light is left out to dry. Good little collapse there from JD Gaming. And it might not be done.
Tian. He's going to have to dash out, and he's going to have to do it underneath and in JDG's territory.
Oh, Hex Flash. Oh, crash down back over the... Oh! Oh, my God. They're just,
Look at the player cams. Look at the player cams. Peyz is laughing.
You got to be careful getting close to Tian. Oh, the kick out. He really nearly had that kill. But that's a huge amount of gold back towards Peyz. JDG, what a response here. They get a ton on the map, too, off of all that.
That was with Xiaoxu looking so clean on the bottom side of this. Gets 2 picks to start, and it also protects the jungle camps here. But Weibo on the opposite side, nickel and diming their opponents, taking an advantage here, trying to squeeze a little bit of a minion wave on the other side. It does end with Tian end up falling, but there is not a lot burned there from Weibo. I think the most important thing that we saw is the cleanse out from Light. But now a minute before the Otacon spawns on the bottom side, and because of how extended the back half of that play was for JDG, they're the second ones back out onto the map. There's a lot of vision that they still need to be able to clear, and not a lot set up for them around this objective.
Both 80 carries and Tian, maybe Breathe, should get their flashes when this Otacon comes up. That might be a bit of wishful thinking on Breeze's part, but those are really key abilities, especially for Peyz. You called out having to use a lot of those summoners in that last top lane exchange. He gets the Rage Blade done, so he's on par with Light in items. 2 item advantage also currently being held by Xiaoxu, who is doing a lot of the heavy lifting, as you pointed out. Our last game was completely flipped by the Otacon. It's where JDG were really able to start rolling and never look back. Do we have another one of those tales in store here for Game 2?
All right, so 2 items completed for both of our 80 carries. There's some discrepancies in the lane. Tian has an advantage over his opponent, but Xiaoxu has one over his. It is Xun and Scout moving from the top side of the map now, but with Weibo in control of specifically bottom lane wave, this is a good spot for them to fight.
Oh, I think Douyu and Peyz went a little too far after the Braum. Douyu is down. Peyz is trying to dump the damage into Breathe, but the redemption buys them a lot of time. That is 25 seconds with Douyu off of the map, and Weibo able to take control towards that Otacon. Xiaoxu is going to get snared by Xiaohu. Scout claws over the wall to try and protect his top laner, and JDG are able to refortify, but they have no way to get near this Otacon.
I think it's fine, though, because now there is no Braum ultimate. They have to get back into this fight. Duo's up and has teleport. We're seeing the teleport as well from Xiaoxu. This is going to be the re-engage. They're going to have to fight through Fog of War here as JDG.
Oh, but it's the face check here from Xun. Takes a huge lick of damage, but Scout gets a triple root. He's going to throw the frozen tube down. They're setting Peyz to go into the back line. There's the dive comp coming through. And guess who? It's Peyz to push down a ton of the damage. Breeze tries to find one on the trade back, but that means Xiaoxu gets to pick up right where his dive buddy left off. It's only Xiaohu that lives to tell the tale, and it's again all Otacon, where JDG stamp their big-time mark on this game.
The mobility coming in from JDG on their carries. Lissandra completely gets away from the equalizer. Peyz just sends it right into the back line, takes out the enemy AD carry. We take a look at this fight again. It starts off a little bit questionable. We're saying, oh, did Xun take a little bit too much damage here? But this pillar, this engage from Scout, and there's nothing that we could see from Weibo. None of the damage able to go onto the members. Lee Sin is completely away from this fight. And that's it there from Weibo. They lose out on the Otacon. They lose out on this fight. They get only Peyz for this play. In the back end, we didn't get to see it in live, but the mid-tier 2 taken there by Weibo. The teleport expended. Scout ends up dying, but I don't think it matters. Dragon's going to be spawning in 20 seconds, and neither of these teams are near Soul.
And the damage is starting to really come through for this mobility-based team for JDG. It's a maw that's soon to be completed here for Xiaoxu. They're looking for Crisp. There's Glacial Prison out. Killer Instinct from Peyz trying to kite away from Breathe and Crisp. Redemptions both come down. Xiaohu's going for the execution onto Peyz. Does he have enough damage with the Flame Spitter? No! There is the Void Seeker coming back through for Peyz. Does get executed by Xiaohu, and now Transcended Light gets the free hit, and that's a big-time problem for JD Gaming. Xun have forced to run for the wayside, but here comes Xiaoxu, and Scout once again trying to connect with the mobility. Probably gets used over the wall. Crisp delivers the Mbessa onto the backline, and it's making Weibo a big-time target for JD Gaming. The mobility again shining through. Solo lane supremacy for JD Gaming.
I mean, hell, who needs Peyz when you've got solo lanes like these? Xiaoxu is putting absolute work into this game and is making Weibo look like complete trash in this game. I mean, this Mbessa has had so much impact in this game. Yet again, Weibo cannot fight into these frozen thralls and all of this damage from this Mbessa. We take a look at this replay. I mean, it's Chris getting engaged upon. It's an exhaust that goes on to Peyz, and they catch out Breathe. Yet again, this Rumble is not getting the value that maybe Weibo would have wanted in this game. And now with all of this investment, it takes them so long. Once the soul laners arrive for JDG, that is when the magic happens.
Because this looked problematic. Xun, I think getting the flash and the speed up over the wall really does wonders to keep him surviving, thriving. But, I mean, just watch Xiaoxu. Once he gets in, oh boy.
Yeah, he just puts it down. He puts in work with the Drakehound steps, all of that damage. We also saw that there was a cleanse coming on through from the Yunara, thinking that she was the one that got hit with the Lissandra ult. Wasn't the case, so a good trade of summoner spells as well coming in for JDG. So they get the Dragon. There is a Baron that spawns in 45. And this is the problem with Weibo. They don't have a frontline tank. We said that was a problem in some of these other games. While JDG also are in a similar spot, I think in terms of being able to start fights, it needs to be around either getting your Rumble to land these equalizers, or Tian on this Lee Sin. This Lee Sin has had very limited impact as we've gotten further into the game. You don't have that same one-shot potential, the flexibility, and honestly, we haven't really gotten a Lee Sin insect play.
No, we haven't. Now he's just getting bopped around, does get the Scuttle Crab. Xiaohu is walking his way up here. It's a TP out of base for Xiaoxu as the Baron hits the rift. Let's watch and see if Scout can find a way in, but they're actually chasing down onto Xun. Tian going to ward hop away to try and get close enough for Sonic Wave. Oh, great sidestep there from Xun. Now the Magic Carpet comes out, gets the redemption, subjugates onto Tian. Sonic Wave comes through to the kick land next. Tian trying to push out enough damage, get rid of Xun, gets the kick. Sonic Wave dodged again. Xun is buying so much time and will finally fall. But how much does that cost them? You're taking 2 members out of this next skirmish, and Xiaohu is going in. There's the CC, and the Killer Instinct comes through right in time. Xun stalls. JDG wins.
There's no turret here. Breathe. Probably going to have to teleport if he wants to get out of this play. He's not going to even bother. He's just going to save himself the summoner spell. It is another 2 kills going over. 3 kills, I should say, for JDG. No Baron being started. Maybe this is the catch out on a Peyz.
Oh, no. Peyz. Chain lands. Blast Cone. Oh, that's a huge Blast Cone save there.
Okay. Still does end up getting the barrier, so not all that bad. This is such a tense game. Remember, Weibo need to be able to win this game if they want to lock that knockout stage and not have to risk their lives. And it's important, right? Because the future schedule, they play against D plus Kia tomorrow. Yeah. That is their last series of the group stage. And if they lose that one and this one here tonight, that's it.
Out.
There is no playoffs implications for Weibo Gaming. We saw there in that play, there was a very split fight. It was them trying to chase Shun, but because of that, there's no engage there for Weibo yet again. So this is going to be JDG starting up this Baron, and they have a hell of a lot of damage with this 3-item Kai'Sa.
Yeah, and they've got a 3-item Lissandra, 3.5 item Mbessa. How do you even walk up to these juggernauts right now? Maybe it's going to have to be Tian going for a hero steal, but they're going to come off the Baron, make sure no 50-50 comes across. Good magic carpet on the back end of the fight is going to split JDG into half. Scout having to go into the Frozen Tomb, using it on himself. That's a pretty big engage tool. Claws back out. Zhuo going to eat the Sonic Wave, but not going to commit any further. Zhuo a threat for Tian to try and dive into. Weibo have accomplished their goal of shutting down the Baron play, but Xiaoxu a little too far forward. Xiaohu's going to engage onto him, and Xiaoxu has to turn back towards Chris, but he is a big bad Mbessa, level 16, and he hits another public execution. Chris to go down first. Who can deal with Xiaoxu in this game? The answer for Weibo right now is absolutely nobody.
How did they make that play happen when they were down numbers and also down abilities? There was no Frozen Tomb. Light almost getting caught.
Peyz a Killer Instinct, and there he goes into the background. It's an absolute meat grinder. Weibo are turned into a fine powder in front of the eyes of many. The TP is late from Xiaohu. He took a reset at such a bad time, and now Tian is getting chased down here. We'll see how flexible he can be in this chase back. Xiaohu does kill off Peyz in the background. But Tian does fall. It's 4 versus 1. It's the general that has to do all the heavy lifting as JDG are on to the Baron.
Can actually make the steal here. Chris just use teleport to get into this play. There's no smite. Some so low members. Can Xiaohu make this happen, though?
Oh, Scout flashed after trying to get the root. Xiaohu is still up and thriving. Baron being heralded by both Xiaoxu and Shun. Scout just deletes Xiaohu. Nice Medjai's by there, buddy. Time to pack it up with a solo, and let me get a 2-piece on the way out. Scout in his bag on the Lissandra that made him so famous in Split 2 of the LPL.
There it is. And honestly, Slayer, outside of the first 10 minutes in both of these games, it has felt like JDG holistically is just the better team. They are playing these fights a lot better than their opponents. They are taking trades that are a little bit more favorable for them, even if maybe the odds don't look as clean. And yet again, it's like, where are my carries? This was a very, very risky draft here from Weibo. You're going for Lee Sin, LeBlanc. We didn't outright smash the 2v2. Tian got a lot of advantages early, but I think Crisp is getting caught out so many times. Yes, it isn't him that gets hit with the public execution, but this is like 5 or 6 fights in a row that he is trying to walk forward and get vision or prevent the enemy team from diving in, and he just gets completely bursted out, and we get to see that Light gets taken out as well.
Yeah, we talked about the Yunara. Like, how do you exist in a game like this? You don't. He's got 6 deaths. The only person, 6 deaths on this Yunara. There's only one little skirmish we saw on the top side earlier where he was even able to like transcend and dump the damage that this Yunara can produce. And the way this game is gone. Oh yeah, all right. Grasshopper is fully switched over towards the JDG side, and gotta love the way his squad is looking. Pushing down on the mid lane, knocking down tier 2 turrets. So full turtle route here from Weibo, but oh boy, it's Tian that gets caught. Great magnet storm there from Zhuo. Waves coming up. Light is getting some free hitting damage down, but how much space is he going to get? Public is going to miss, but it's Peyz that just eviscerates his health bar once again. Peyz grabs himself a quick double, and that is going to be the game. That is going to be the series. Weibo cannot snuff out their own region's team in JDG from this tournament. Each LPL team going to go into the last round robin 1-1. And for JDG, they have a much more favorable matchup, and they might have just given themselves a lifeline to the knockout stage of the Asia Invitational.
Oh my god, I mean, hell, that was a very, very fun series, and I want to say a community member that we cannot give enough praise to for her interactions with the show. Both of her teams end up winning today. If you don't know, 10-10, there has been only 13 other days throughout this year where both BFX and JDG have played, and only one single day where JDG and BFX have won. Now it is a second day. Congratulations to her. I know she's very excited about both her teams winning out today. And JDG gets to keep their dreams alive. Yeah.
No, not even game losses. 10-10. It's just all wins for you.
Stay free.
That is fun. Stay free. Yeah. I mean, this game too might have not been as free. It was looking pretty bleak, right? In the mid game, I think Tian was very far ahead. But you pointed out, like when it came down to team fighting, JDG were locked in.
Trying to see what they're okay. So now I'm looking. So I was doing math. If you don't know, over on my Twitter account, Battery. I was doing 10-10 math. Their series score for both of these teams, specifically on days where they played on the same day, now is 19-18 for JDG and 19-16 for BFX, and they are both. Oh, sorry, wait, no, I have to change. I have to change this now. There we go. They are both 8-6.
Wow. So here's my question to 10-10. If you are out there, the way these groups are going, I expect D plus Kia to be A1, right? And then JDG are much more favored to be A2. BFX are 2-0. They are likely to be B1. So knockout stage is very likely BFX JDG. 10-10, where do your allegiances lie in that matchup?
I messaged her, and I did say there is a very real world where JDG versus BFX is a knockout bracket in the first round. Now, thankfully, there is a this is double elim, so they will have a. It is, yes. We have a lower bracket. So if they lose, it will not be elimination, but they could meet each other in the lower bracket, which is definitely possible.
I gotta hear from 10-10 herself to see where the allegiances lie in this one. Yeah, I remember what the part of the bracket I didn't like about it. I forgot that the part that I'm not a fan of the knockout bracket is that it is only a BO5 in the grand finals.
Look, this whole tournament is for fun. I'm okay with giving us best of threes for most of the tournament. Like, if it's a more serious competition, you know, if we still had best of ones in a tier 1 region, then, you know, maybe
that's true. You know what?
Questionable.
I'm glad that's out the window. And also, we're all gonna get our fair share of best of 5s at Worlds, so we'll be eating good there. Let's go.
I do want to really quickly talk about strength of schedule, because we hinted it that for Weibo, they're going to have to play against the expected favorites of this tournament in D plus Kia tomorrow. JDG are going to have to play against GAM. And I don't really want to take anything away from the LCP as a region, but outside of really just CFO, it has kind of been a bit difficult to see their region find much success against the other tier 1s of the world. So I really do think that it is highly likely we see JDG, who got the hard matchup out of the way first. This was kind of the clincher for them, right? Like, this has to be it.
Unless we can see GAM really start to make the water pretty murky. But even then, right? Let's. No, wait. Actually, yeah, that would base. Well, so now, yeah. Okay. Here's the point I want to make. I got there. So D plus Kia, if we assume they don't drop any games, if GAM does pull off the upset against JDG, even that would still get JDG through, because I would assume the head-to-head is the tiebreaker in a scenario like this, or is it game score?
I have no clue. There's no rules. There's no rules posted about what the tiebreakers are.
I would hope it's head-to-head.
Who knows?
Head-to-head would give JDG the way in.
Yeah, but honestly, that's for nerds, and that's for us to find out if it happens, right? Like, we are expecting everything to go to plan. We are expecting that D Plus are going to win versus Weibo. We're expecting that JDG will beat up on GAM Esports, but who knows? Tomorrow, maybe the worst version of both of those teams end up coming out, and we get Weibo and GAM winning tomorrow.
That'll be a fun day to see as we come down to the wire on those groups. But yeah, we are in some very likely scenarios for our knockout stage, at least seeding-wise. Let's talk MVPs, though, towards the end of these highlights. Are we giving Scout an MVP? No, it's Xiaoxu. Xiaoxu.
I think Xiaoxu definitely. Like we were
Yeah.
joking that maybe he got robbed last game. This is definitely one where if he doesn't get it, then we're kind of mad. Hey,
yeah.
okay. Xiaoxu, a player that unfortunately didn't get very many All-Pro nods either from the community or ourselves here on the broadcast, but was definitely making a name for himself. There you go. There was a second team vote and a third team vote.
I was the third.
Team. There we go.
The third one. Yep.
So
who was the second team?
and
I want to know that.
I don't know, but the community members, there was a first team vote. I remember because it was DBT. Second team
Viewer
was
of the
3
year.
votes and third team 4. He got banned earlier today.
What?
I don't know the context. All I saw is in our mod chat we were having a little bit of fun seeing that a keystone species of the Twitch chat was getting banned, but I assume he's been unbanned. Fossabot was probably having a little bit of too much fun in chat.
Man, that you just threw a dagger at my heart right there, telling me that live on cam, man. All right, well, at least we saw Scout does get some love. It was a 3-5 split, so 2 of the votes go towards Scout, but Xiaoxu does deserve the MVP there. What a bounce back after a rough series against D+ Kia from JD Gaming. They now go from look on the outside looking in for a chance at the knockout stage to in prime position. That will do it for our Group A conversations for today. Our final series of the day is up next here as we watch Nongshim take on the first appearance on this tournament of the MGN Vikings from the LCP. We'll go to a bit of a more extended break, but on the other side, bring you the final matchup of Day 2 of the Asia Invitational.